Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of some Sword Chronicles Awaken. We are back again on the PB account. We are plodding along, whatever you want to call it. We're progressing, we're making some strides, and we're really just going to cover some tips and tricks that I wish I knew a little bit earlier on, now that we are into week number 3 of the new server. And of course, with the new week comes the new SP hero, which is going to be Zhao Yun. And we're going to talk a little bit about this guy over here. Talk about, I guess, the progress of the server slash game now that SP heroes are going to become available. And then we're going to talk a little bit about, obviously, just, I guess, overall how the game is flowing. Now, to cut a long story short, you are going to get to a point where you have done most of the events and you are then going to be kind of pigeonholed into progressing your heroes. It is important to note that the quickest way to quote unquote progress is realistically using these little summons here. You can get quite a few for free each day. You can buy them from the arena and you can buy them from the normal store with the gems. But this is what I have found as one of the easier ways to get the souls, which are very, very important, which are these things. And of course, there's a pretty decent chance, like one of the highest chances in the game, of getting your selected hero. Now, you probably won't get any rare heroes here. I don't believe they give you the option at all, but they pretty much give you every other one, including, rare ones. And these are important to note too, because eventually you're going to be wanting to upgrade some of your new ones. So where is she? Hugh. Eventually, you're going to be wanting to get Zenji up to ultra rare status. So if you are looking to get some of those ones, they are probably going to be accessible through this event. And of course, there are some rare ones too that just aren't out. Like you just don't see them at all. So if you're looking to fill out your indexes, you can grab them that way. But ultimately, you're going to be using this to eventually UR everybody up to UR5. And then just moving on along down the chain of the ones that you actually can use. I would recommend investing some time and effort into getting that. That's why I got Lubu up so quickly. But outside of that, pretty much the next thing we're going to talk about is the SP Hero event. Zhao Yun, we're going to give you some examples of me using him in my team, and then I'm going to give you examples of him in the event. But basically, he is a one-man army. He will destroy 90% of the time heroes. So for those that went for Dante and Sadara, or Sandara, or however you want to call him, the time heroes, he pretty much demolishes them, makes them obsolete almost. Obsolete almost is the adjective I'm going to use for that one, because there are some situations where Dante will actually stun lock him, but that's really just in PvP and it depends on his position. But outside of that, this guy is the one that you want to pull for. His drop rate is 3%. So if you're a free-to-play player, you have a chance. You have a chance. It's a decent chance. It's a guaranteed 50 pulls. You will get him. However, you would hope that you'll get him in the first 20, because that's realistically where a lot of players will stop if they are free to play. You'll basically get 25 free summons in the event, and hopefully you will get him in that store slash event. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So in terms of the value for money, there are only two things that you need to really focus on is buying your exclusives. You can buy 10k worth, which is 20 pulls, and then you get like free ones per day. So that's nice. I think you actually work out to be about 30. If I'm not mistaken, I think you get about 30 or 35 actually free for the event. So if you get one a day and the event is like how many days long, like 13 or 14 days long, and then you get one per story, which is every 2 days, you do get quite a bit of free. And then obviously if you want to spend, the only two that you're going to spend is the dollar value pack and the $4.99 value pack, and that's 20 extra. So I guess the game is really gearing you up to get at least one free copy. Now, there is a catch though. There is a little catch. To get this guy, you need 80. So I actually need 80 of his shards instead of 60, which is the traditional. So it can be a little bit trickier. You can only get 20 of his shards from these dragon crystals. That pretty much does not refresh. And that's it. And I'll show you one extra place you can get them. But that's pretty much it. If you don't get lucky, then you kind of have to wait each week until you can get some additional ones. On top of that, you do get these dragon scales. Spend wisely. Pick what will suit you down the line. Make sure you read the descriptions. A lot of this stuff is not available to me yet, so it's kind of a little obsolete. But if you have any suggestions in the comment section down below, let me know what you think. Normally, I'm just going for the Soldier Jade so that I can upgrade my stuff to legendary status for my gear. But outside of that, like, you can pretty much see. Maybe read the comment section down below. Maybe some pro players on the Discord will let us know what's going on. But I think for me, I'm going with the Jade. There is one additional place that you can get his shards for free, and that is in the arena. So if we go over to the arena store, he is in the Expedition Hero, and you can get him for 150 shards. So you can spend 3k worth of these arena tokens. If you are like me, had spent them all, I can get 5 more every week. But that is 3k a week. You can get 20 shards. Over a month, you can get enough copies to make him. If you pull nothing, if you got so unlucky that you literally pulled no other shards of him, it would take you about 3 weeks if you bought him from the Dragon Store, and from the Arena Shards, you will be able to get him that way. However, if you were lucky enough and you managed to quote unquote pull him, which we did on the live VC session for those that joined, shout out to, of course, Silent Fox Courage that was in there. We did actually manage to pull him from there. So if we have a look at him in my squad, if I can figure out where he is, I think he's over here. So he's in the squad, but in order to level him up, we actually need 60 more copies of him. So we may be able to get him, like, say, week 2. We can at least refresh the arena and get 20 that way. So that's 25. And then if we get lucky with some of the pulls, we might be able to get some of his shards that way as well. But yeah, ultimately we did get him, so pretty happy about that. But yeah, in terms of everything else, the same as any other hero, you need to do your romance tales. And that kind of segues into it. This is sort of the other side of the coin. A lot of people don't take advantage of the awakening up here. Once you've been pulling a lot of normal heroes, you will actually get to a point where you have a bucket load of shards for them. And you're like probably thinking, like, what do I do with them? There's a couple of things that you need to take into consideration. We'll go back into it. Now, this little bunny is fantastic, but it's also a trap. You don't want to use the bunny before you do this, otherwise the bunny will automatically select the heroes that they romance, and that is not actually going to help you at all. You need to go into here every day before you hit that little bunny rabbit on the daily reset. You need to go over to your room, and you need to figure out which one of these green arrows is pointing up. And what that means is you now need to read what your awakening requirements are. So if it's giving gifts, that's fine. You can do that. But the most interesting one is the last one, because you get 4 a day of these little bunny rabbits. Now, you do want to time this out so that you can actually level these heroes up. Don't waste the opportunity and just do it like randomly, because at the end of the day, you'll probably kick yourself and go, well, that's actually missed progress. And there's an important segue that we're going to talk about in a second, while this is very, very important. Now, not only can you level these guys up by awakening them each time, so from blue to purple, purple to gold, this is the only way to turn a blue into a purple and a purple into a gold if they are not legendary from the very, very beginning. So it's very important for you to take the chance and take the time to invest in them. Yeah, like I said, this will help you out. This will definitely help you out. So for this guy, what we need to do is get him up to level 4. So I need to buy some more of these things. buy some more gifts. I don't think I can buy any more gifts. But anyway, need to buy some more gifts and I'll level that guy up next time. Make sure you're always buying out the full store. You get too many of those currencies anyway, so don't worry about that too much. But that's important. Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you're prioritizing your heroes. Because when you go over there to level them all up, you're going to have like a lot of heroes with a lot of shards, and you like be sitting there going, why am I not making any real progress in the game? And that's probably going to be the reason why. And this is always a good indicator. If you ever think of which ones to do, go and check which ones are in your bag and see how many shards you have. From, I believe, purple to gold, it's 240. From blue to purple, it is 180. So you will need a lot of these to go from blue to purple to gold, but you will also get a lot of them with your generic summons. So keep that in mind. Make sure you're making progress that way. The other thing I would recommend starting off is paying attention to your guild. Make sure that you are participating in these events. Now, you don't always have to be in the strongest guild on the Legion or Legion in the game, whatever you want to call it. But it is important for you to be in an active one so that you can participate each weekend in these sieges. And the reason being is that generally speaking, you will be able to... I don't know if I can show you the record. Can I show you? Yes, you can actually buy Jade of Kings. And Jade of Kings is the best in the game. At this moment, this is pretty much the bee's knees when it comes to the artifact slash like weapon that you use. It does cost you 10,000 to bid on it. So we actually had 3 of them up for grabs, which means that people didn't all bid on them, which is fantastic. But there you go. You can basically get Jade of Kings there. So I think 2 people bid on them, if I'm not mistaken, and we had 3 of them. So there was no real great rush. It is expensive though, having 10k, but it is definitely worthwhile participating on the weekend events. Make sure you do that because you are missing out. You are missing out, and realistically it will hurt you in the end. Now, the other thing to take into consideration while you're playing this game is obviously have fun. Don't worry too much about it. We're going to talk about the tactics though for those that want to excel. There are 2 modes for this, and one of them is story. This is pretty much skip next. You will get a free summons every time you complete the story, so it is worthwhile doing that, and it will progressively unlock, of course, throughout the event's duration, which is another 11 days and 5 hours. Things to remember though is in the trial mode, there is 2 challenges here, and it is important for you to start with this one first. Now, on this challenge, you can actually re-challenge it, which I think is pretty cool, but I'll show you an example here. So at this stage, the only way to progress is actually to select all of these. And you're probably thinking like, PB, why would I do that? Because it multiplies out your points by the factor of your challenge difficulty. Challenge points are correlated with damage and point factors. What that means is you pretty much have to click every single box, and then as you progress through the game mode, the trials and the other additional mode with the leveling up of your characters, you will progressively do more damage and you'll get better statistics. Now, I ranked 42 on this one. It won't let me do it. Damn it, I wish it would give me an example. I really hoped it would. Coming back into it in hindsight, level 42 is fine for the rewards, but you do kind of want to push this up as high as you can because you will get additional 10 copies of him, and you will get some other yummy rewards such as points. But as you can see, I'm already ranked 23. We're going to do it a couple more times to see if we can get a little bit higher than that. And the only way realistically is every single day you're going to come in and you're going to do your 10 attempts. Now, you want to start the day off with 10 attempts, and it's very important to do so because you need the SB Hero trial points. And this is going to segue into the next part of the video. But firstly, every single time this comes up each day, it should refresh. You should be able to do this. Go click all of them. If it'll let me click it, make sure you click all of these little things. Don't miss any. It always should say 170. Go ahead and challenge them. Really, in terms of positional, I don't think this matters too much, but I will kind of slot it how I normally would have it. I actually like Zhao Yun in the back row. I think he does a little bit better survivability that way. It's up to you how you run him though. But in terms of this, we're going to go ahead and smash through. We might have actually done a little bit more damage. No, we didn't. We got 7,000 for that one, which is interesting because we actually got 12,5,3,4,3 before. But ultimately, this is the only way for you to do it. Maybe we'll mix and match. How about if we go up there? I have support though. I do want to run some support with him. It is a little bit of RNG white. Oh no, 775. It seems pretty standard there. How about if I run him like this? Because he's going to do the most damage. And I do apologize. There we go. We got the 10-3 there. Let's keep going until we can cap that. There we go, 13,3,3,7,2. Now, reading the statistics, this guy alone carries the team. Okay, like this event is all about showcasing what he can do. Try to manipulate it as best you can. Always go with the tank for the shielding ability, but honestly, if you are low tier, if you don't have like a lot of heroes available, then it's okay as long as this guy stays alive. Try to keep him alive. Try to run 5 support. Run 2 tanks and 3 supports. As long as he can stay alive, he'll do more damage. And that's ultimately going to allow you to increase your rank. Because ultimately, you just want free copies. That's all we're doing it for, is the free copies. And it kind of segues into the next thing, which is very important. Then you take some advantage of leveling this up. Now, if you were to disregard any of the top row, what you want to do, and I'll reset it so that you can see it, how many it will cost you to do it. So what you want to do is you're going to go across the middle, which is HP, UR up, HP, UR up, and continuing along this path. So we started at 110, and there we go. We got down to 36 remaining. So you do the maths. I am very bad at maths, but I believe you can do it with around 70 thereabouts. You basically need to get this guy to UR5. That's your first thought process, is focus on getting this guy to 5-star, because he does all the damage in all the trials and of course in the main event. Now after that, what you want to do is you can max him out with HP, then you can go along and do his attack rotation. And this just means that he's going to do more damage overall. But essentially, you do want to level up your team. And I would recommend going and trying to get the damage resistance and damage percentage up by 50%. That is very, very important. Try to get those ones up as well. And then you can focus on HP and overall damage when you have some extras. Now, you can choose to remove the trial team and reset them completely, and then just go purely for HP and try and max this guy out. That's not a bad strategy, but you will probably find that you won't be able to get 3-star completions. And it is kind of important to do the 3-star completions, because this is the actual trial that you need to go into. They do actually get pretty difficult, so I will say that, even though we have got the full completions here. Towards the end, this guy, I don't know if it'll let me, it's not going to let me fight you, is it? Dang it, I should have left one open. I do apologize. But you will need to go in there after you've leveled up. Now, when you first start out, you're probably going to see, it is pretty difficult. I'm not going to lie. Like, when you first do it, try to clear it as much as you can. You don't have to, like, get full 3-star clearing. Make sure you come back and clear it after, though, when you do some level ups with your purple gems, because you do want to get the additional dragon crystals. The reason why you want to get the dragon crystals is not just for, obviously, copies of him. You want to get some awakening. You do really want to get some awakening calls. You absolutely want to start doing some imbuing crystals as well for your divine weapons. I know for a fact that a lot of this stuff is just hard to get. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that. Particularly this one over here. This is a pain in the backside to get. The Ultra Soul Edict, and you will need a lot of those ones to level up your souls. But outside of that, make sure you're taking advantage just to get those free Dragon Stones, and of course, enjoy yourself throughout the entire process. It is fun to play around with your team. I will admit that. Like, if you want to get adventurous, you can always try this. Heck, why don't we just try this out and see if we do even more damage? I'll throw in all my supports. So I'll take away Li Ling Kui. I've got Dao Chan. Where are you? Where's my Guan hero? We'll throw you out there. We can actually get rid of Lu Bu. We'll throw you in slot 2. And then we'll throw you in there. Here it buffs the entire party's statistics. Who else do I need? I have my tank, I have Dao Chan, and then I'll go with my healer. Where you at, healer girl? There you are. My goodness, I hate this. I absolutely hate this mechanic. Come on, get rid of you. Go over there. We have Dao Chan, you. And where's my last guy? Where's my Guan? There he is. Alright. Let's see if this actually does more damage. Because you never know. You never know. Although Dao Chan's pretty useless. Probably should have got someone better than her. Let's see if she does more overall damage. I want the shielding effect, of course. Should be nice if she actually, quote unquote, stun someone. That'd be great. Oh, they're all gonna die, aren't they? Damn it. Come on, stay alive. No. And again, like, realistically, I doubt we're going to do more damage. But hey, look, this is a perfect point for you to play around. Make sure you take advantage of it. Test him out in his entirety. He overall is just a really strong hero. And I guess that kind of goes into the last part of the video. We're going to test him out. We're going to talk about him when I can actually figure out how to find him again. There he is. Because he goes first, round one, being a Pierce style hero, it is important to... like, he gets his rage quite quickly. And I guess it is important to kind of have him in the slot 2 position. It doesn't matter if you have him in slot 2 in the front row or slot 2 in the back row, but you kind of want him to take out the middle row, if that makes sense. Like, he's very good at it. So if you have him combined with another Pierce hero like Li Lingqi next to him, like, they do take out a pretty significant chunk of the enemy's front line. His overall ability, though, hinges on his Dragon Scale, and then eventually his passive, of course, as you read it. Then when you UR him, he does get some additional abilities, so it is kind of... I mean, he's a strong hero. He just craps on everyone. I'm not going to say he doesn't. But basically, Dragon Soul, you consume 3 Dragon Souls for his SP. Everything he does generates Dragon Souls, so keep that in mind. After he basically uses the stack, then he gains the Dragon Shield on himself. Dragon Shield basically prevents him from being one-shot, which is pretty... that's pretty broken when you think about it. Like, he pretty much gets prevented from dying, which is fantastic. It increases his ability to attack them and ignores dodge. Cannot be dispelled. Pretty broken. His rage ability, again, pretty broken. He attacks them in one row. But the most interesting thing is his bond, because the game actually gives you Zhuge Liang to begin with. So if you're lucky enough to get some of his rare copies, then you can always, like I did, level him up. Otherwise, you can change that over. This guy here, Zhang Fei, he's not rare, but I mean, he's not common. But if you did manage to get some copies of him, you could probably use him as well. Luckily, the game will give you a free copy of Zhuge Liang, so you don't have to stress too much if you do build him. But yeah, essentially, you pick which one suits your team the best. I'm going to go with my 3-star. I may level up Zhang Fei later on for the additional crit, but it really just depends on how you want to run him. Read through the pros and cons here, because then... ultimately, one's more tanky, one's more DPS. That's really what it works out to be. Zhuge Liang becomes a little bit more, I want to say, like, granted, he becomes a little bit more tanky, but at the same time, from what at the beginning of the battle, he gains 3 Dragon Souls. That's important, because he needs his Dragon Souls basically to do it. And then he's immune to rage reduction. Again, important, because you want him to pop off with his Pierce ability. Rage regen, disemblement, and rage regen speed reduction. Okay, so basically can't be stopped. Whenever the enemy launches an attack, other enemies' rage is reduced by 50 points. It is a support function, but it basically allows him to always guarantee hit with his rage ability round 1. That's really what he does. There are some buffs around it. This one is a little bit more offensive if that makes sense. You do get crit on SP is increased by 15%. At the end of even rounds, so odds and even rounds, so round 2 and round 4, Zhao Yun gains 2 Dragon Souls and 500 Rage. So basically, he becomes like a Rage machine. I can see this working out. I can see them both working out. Test them out in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. But ultimately, this guy here is an absolute monster. Now, I think we can arguably say that I don't have the strongest of teams, but somehow I managed to claw my way up to level 35. We are going to go ahead and fight some people here. Now, I can't guarantee who we're going to verse, but I will say this. From my observations, and we were on VC for about nearly 2 hours playing around with this, I will say this. He does seem to allow the other DPS in your team to shine a little bit more. Now he won't necessarily. He's never gonna like. How do I say it? He's never gonna like not be top DPS. He's always going to be the top DPS, but it is important to watch what the other 2 DPS on your team are doing, and then decide whether or not it's more beneficial for you to swap them out for support. Because ultimately, you could run a full stack of support and just run Zhao Yun, and that would be a legitimate team. Now, the other thing to note is he did get CC locked. So that's another thing. Even though he did have Zhuge Liang, it did prevent him from getting CC locked round 1 to do his pierce ability. But unfortunately, he's still sitting there as CC locked. And we're in round number 3. So we're going to lose this purely because he's CC locked. And that's the other thing, is like, if you had things to prevent that, would you have won? The answer is yes, we would have killed them. But because of the fact that he basically got crapped on with control, and I'm pretty sure that was Dante doing it, again, it's like, that's his biggest weakness. And I don't have a counter for that weakness, but maybe you can let me know in the comment section down below if you can find one. But that seems to be his biggest stumbling block, is if he does get controlled, he will potentially lose the match. And Dante does like to target him, so that is something that we have to take into consideration. Now, if you're lucky enough and you're versing the same people over and over again, you can maneuver your team to essentially take out Dante first, but Dante's pretty much always going to be in the back row, so there is that to consider. Now, in terms of like his overall, I want to say survivability, he's pretty tanky. Like I don't see him ever not being able to tank some big hits. And I guess you can attribute that to his equipment. I mean, obviously you want to throw the best equipment on him. He's going to be your all-star team / carrier. So don't skimp on the equipment to keep him alive. Let's just put it that way. I think we lucked out and Dante didn't stun lock us because he maybe didn't get his rage ability off. I wasn't paying too much attention. My apologies, but ultimately, as you can see, this guy had. We'll have a look at his statistics here, but this guy basically had invested in the time heroes. As you can see, he had Sanada up to 5-star UR. Then he was just running, I believe he was just running a base level Dante for the stuns. Probably if he had a UR Dante, he probably would have targeted him and shut him down a little bit quicker. However, in saying that, like, as you can see, didn't really help his team that much. And yeah, I guess, look, all things into consideration, we were pretty much running a pretty similar team. Like he had Zhang Liao, another DPS, but he also had Li Lingqi at 5-star as well. You are 5-star. I don't know. You let me know who should have won that fight. Based on that team there, realistically, who should have won? Because we only really bought a one UR to the table that broke that for some reason, and I do think it's a little bit crummy that the game starts you off with that, if that makes sense. I mean, I know I'm rambling a little bit, but they get you invested in the time heroes. I don't even use the time heroes anymore. I'm like, I see their value in maybe a secondary team, But now that this guy's out, like I would just prefer to run like a full support team with him and maybe Lu Bu. Pretty much, Lu Bu and him is gonna just chonk everybody. I mean, it's not a guarantee, as you can see. Like I'm not gonna say we're gonna win this one, like just because I have him. But at the same time, it's like, he's definitely bringing a lot to the table. Hopefully, we can kill his Lu Bu now. Although he does have Dao Chan, so that's probably not gonna happen. Nope. And plus we have 2 stuns. There you go, Dante. Dante shut him down with the stuns. It is what it is. It is what it is. We are not going to win this one. And then we got shut down. Lu Bu probably is not going to kill anyone. So there are some examples here. I don't want to just say it's all one-sided. But I think in all honesty, he does just break the game at this point. He definitely has potential of pretty much just one-siding it. If you get lucky, if you get super lucky and you can level this guy up to like UR1 or UR2, yeah, I can definitely say he's probably going to be busted. I know he gets most of his abilities at UR3. But yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I don't want to go over it too much longer, but let me know in the comment section down below. Are you building him? Have you been lucky? Will you be able to get him at the end of the event with obviously the weekly resets in the arena? I am curious to know. I think he's probably one of the better ones out there. Also, any suggestions on who I should replace in the team? Because I am open to the idea of resetting Li Ling Kui and then just maybe running an extra support, going like three support, 2 DPS, just keeping Lu Bu because he's an absolute monster. I don't know. At this stage, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, any suggestions would be great as well. I do actually want to level her up as soon as possible to UR, just so I can get some of her bonuses, particularly with her rage increase. I think that's really, really important. If I can figure out how to get her to give Zhao Yun rage every single time, I would. I would. I wish there was a way for me to figure that out. I'm pretty sure if I delved into it, I could probably figure something along the lines. But I do think the other character that is really, really interesting is where are you? Where are you? Before I let you all go, I hate this manipulation because everything's the same damn thing. Where are you? Squad. Shu. You. This one here could be interesting. I may run her instead of Li Ling Kui, just because she does some rage. And I do think that could be very, 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 very beneficial. Zhuge. Let me know in the comment section down below if that would work out a little bit better for the team. Also, oh yes, I was rabbiting on about the importance of filling up your home bar. And it is so that you can actually complete these damn events and get this free yummy stuff. And then you get the MC skin, which is pretty cool. And you only have 13 days to go. So if you haven't already made headway into getting that, make sure you take advantage of leveling up your SR and R heroes. And then eventually your SSR and of course your UR heroes. Make sure you take advantage of that because it is worthwhile getting that skin. I think it's worthwhile getting her skin. It's free. It really is free just for progressing in the game. Anyway, make sure you also jump into our Discord in the link in the field down below. If you have any questions there, we have lots of players on lots of servers that are actually rejoining the Discord and are having a chat with everyone there. Be active, say hello, and don't be afraid to hit that like, subscribe, and notification button. Catch you in the next one.